I'd like to introduce our next speaker, who just 2 months ago was a nurse at Grove Hill Medical Center taking care of her cancer patients. She believed, as many parents would, that her 3 young children, Sophia, Ariel, and her twin brother Noah, were safely learning at the school that they loved, Sandy Hook Elementary. Later that morning, Veronique received a message on her phone telling her that there had been a shooting at that school where her children attended. Later, she heard the news that no parent should ever hear, that her son Noah was shot multiple times and was killed. Noah was the youngest person killed that day. But since that day, Veronique and her husband Lenny have asked themselves what happened. And they've asked themselves what they can do to prevent this from happening to another family and to any more of us. So for Veronique, there is really no other way to honor Noah's life. Veronique Posner.
Thank you. I can't believe it's been 2 months today. I keep wanting someone to wake me up, but this isn't a dream. My name is Veronique Posner, and I am the mother of Noah Posner. I want to share some things with you about Noah. I used to call Noah my 6-year-old force of nature. He was a child who took large, hungry bites out of every day. His inquisitive mind was always seeking answers. Sometimes he was like a young philosopher. One day, he asked me, if God created the universe, who created God? Another question he asked me several times haunts me to this day. He used to ask, if there are bad guys out there, why can't they just wake up one day and decide to be good? I didn't always have the answers for Noah. I still don't. His life and all the potential it contained ended on December 14th, 2012. He will never get to attend middle school or high school, kiss a girl, attend college, pick a career path, fall in love, marry, have children, or travel the world. Noah will never feel the sunlight on his face again, the companionship of a family who adores him, the taste of a good meal. He'll never get to dig that hole all the way to China like he tried to do every summer day at the beach. I'm fortunate to have 4 surviving children. My 2 youngest made it out of Sandy Hook Elementary School physically unscathed that day. Sophia, who's in 2nd grade, tells us that the number 14 will forever be unlucky for her. She even hates the thought of turning that age someday. She also now dislikes calendars. She was working on a schoolroom calendar when she heard what she calls the loud popping sounds that took Noah away. Ariel is Noah's twin sister. She says she wishes that Noah was next to her huddling in the small bathroom where her class hid, instead of being out in the open at the mercy of what was being unleashed on the children and adults across the hallway. She tells me that she's scared that she'll forget what Noah sounded and looked like. She said to me recently, "Mommy, what if I forget what it was like to play with Noah? Does it mean he'll forget me too?" I don't want that to happen. When I'm happy, I want him to know it. I reassured her that as her twin, he would be forever linked to her, no matter what. How could anyone think that my son, or any of those whose lives were stolen that day, were so disposable that it is acceptable to do nothing. Thomas Jefferson said, "The price of freedom is eternal vigilance." He was so right about that. Look at what happens when no one is watching. Where is the vigilance with respect to these instruments of death? Where was the vigilance in 2011 when this legislature refused to limit the size of magazines? The vigilance now lies here with us. It is here today, and the vigilance has to remain. This event, December 14th, 2012, is the tipping point in favor of another Jefferson principle that has become the founding principle of our great nation: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I wish to add my voice on behalf of my son to the voices of so many of you who are calling for change now. Assault weapons should be comprehensively banned in the state of Connecticut. They are designed to inflict as much lethal damage as possible and have no place in the hands of civilians. The equation is terrifyingly simple. Faster weapons equal more fatalities. Citizens may have the right to bear arms, but they do not have the right to bear weapons of mass destruction. As long as these weapons are legally allowed to be purchased by civilians, tortured souls like Adam Lanza will continue to use them to kill innocents. There should be no grandfathering in of such weapons once a ban is implemented. Possession of any assault weapon, regardless of the date of purchase, ought to be illegal. A compulsory gun buyback program of these newly illegal weapons could then be instituted. This was done effectively in Australia, from what I have read, and if it can be done in Australia, then surely it could be made to happen in Connecticut. Limiting high-capacity magazines is very important, but alone is not sufficient. Secondly, just as each motor vehicle is required to be registered, whether bought from a dealer or from a private sale, all firearms, without exception, should be registered. Everyone who drives a car has to be tested and licensed to ensure public safety. The same should be required of gun owners. And just as motor vehicle owners are required to carry liability insurance on their vehicles, the same should apply to gun owners. There is no question but that firearms are inherently and profoundly dangerous to our society. Consequently, owners should bear the risk and ultimate socioeconomic costs. Lastly, gun owners should be required to secure their firearms and prevent them from falling into the hands of others. Any person who fails to secure their firearm in a situation where the firearm is used to injure or kill another person should face stiff criminal and civil liabilities. If we make these changes, we will have gone a long way to making Connecticut safer for our children. I want to conclude by sharing with you something special that Noah did for school last Thanksgiving. The children were asked to make a turkey, a paper cutout, and on each of the feathers, they were asked to write something that they were thankful for. This is Noah's handprint. And on each finger, which is one of the turkey's feathers, he wrote electricity, books, friends, family. And on the center feather, he wrote, the life I live. That life was taken. Let the state of Connecticut become an agent for change with respect to gun safety. My 6-year-old force of nature and every other child and adult who died that day deserve it. We need your help to make it happen. Thank you, and keep fighting.